What the hell? Okay! Guess my closet's not working today. This is just great!
How did I end up here? 3 minutes here. What is this place? How do I leave?
I wonder what Nintendo's gonna do for the next console. Okay. I guess I can make this work for today. 1 sec, something peels off. Alright, that's better. So what's up with Nintendo?
Nintendo's been making video game consoles since the beginning of time, also known as 1983. And with each new console, they've brought some new innovation. Whether that's saving the video game industry with the Nintendo Entertainment System, revolutionizing 3D gaming and making stupid controllers with the Nintendo 64, or combining handheld and at-home gaming with the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo has always prided themselves in crafting new experiences for their players. Which is super exciting and interesting to see what they come up with next. But it also makes it a lot harder to predict what they're gonna do next.
So why not try and do just that? After all, I have no fucking clue how long I'm gonna be stuck here, and I got nothing better to do, so might as well try and teach myself how to be a psychic.
Of course, the best way to predict the future is to look to the past, and if you need proof of that, go take a middle school history class. I'm not gonna explain that to you. Starting in 1983 with the Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo entered the home console market with a bang. But I mean, they had to. This was right after the video game market crashed in America, which was caused by an overflow of home consoles and an overflow of low-quality titles for those consoles. People had pretty much given up on the concept of a video game and weren't really into the idea of buying a new console. So, Nintendo had to find a way to convince people that their new video game console, the Nintendo Entertainment System, was in fact not a video game console. Enter Rob the Robot, a peripheral for the console that could play specifically made NES games. It was kinda useless, there were only 2 Rob-compatible games ever made, but regardless of how gimmicky it was, it worked. People bought NESs, and thanks to phenomenal games like Super Mario Bros., Legend of Zelda, and countless others, video games were back.
Now this would sort of set a precedent for Nintendo consoles going forward. Make a central unique gimmick, and then focus on that. So, our new Nintendo console needs a gimmick. It can make pancakes.
Because here's the thing, Nintendo was never really pushed for next-gen graphics or anything like that. I mean, the NES and their next console, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, could be argued to be pushing for next-gen graphics, but, I mean, 8 and 16-bit graphics are hard to mess up. But then with the Nintendo 64, they opted for cartridge-based games out of stupidity and stubbornness, and with the GameCube, they used weird tiny discs out of stupidity and stubbornness. Both of these options had significantly less storage than their competitors, which was just a choice Nintendo made because it's just what they felt like that week.
And then there's the Wii.
With the Wii, Nintendo thought, what if we made Wii Sports? And then decided to stop caring about their public image and do whatever the hell they wanted. And somehow, this insanely boosted their public image. The Wii's main gimmick was motion controls, and so while the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 made the jump to playing games in HD, Nintendo decided to focus on letting people flail their arms while playing games and not make that jump. And the following consoles continued to embrace this idea of gimmicks over graphics. The Wii U wasn't as powerful as its competitors to make room for the stupidest idea in gaming, and the Nintendo Switch isn't as powerful as its competitors to make room for the coolest idea in gaming.
Now, this whole gimmicks over graphics things is why it's a lot more fun to theorycraft a new Nintendo console compared to a new PlayStation or Xbox. Because those are always going to be as powerful as possible to make sure games look as good as possible. And a new PlayStation is always going to be named the word PlayStation followed by number, and a new Xbox will somehow find a way to be named something stupider than the last one. So, what if Nintendo's next console followed exactly in their footsteps?
Okay, I know this is kind of a stupid idea, but what if Nintendo's next console was in line with the next-gen PlayStation and Xbox? Like, I know I just went on a whole tangent about how Nintendo likes to focus on gimmicks, but honestly, since that's been their mindset for so long, making a truly next-gen console would be a gimmick for them. But here's the thing. The Switch has put out some truly incredible-looking games. Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Luigi's Mansion 3, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. There's some fantastic-looking games on this thing, and it's still weaker than its competitors. So imagine what could be done with super high processing power and 4K capabilities or whatever. I call this new console the Super Ultra Nintendo Entertainment System, the SNES if you will. It's a fun callback to Nintendo's first consoles while also describing exactly how powerful this new console is. And I mean, looking at some of the games coming out for the PS5, holy shit, there are some pretty games coming out for this thing. And it makes me want Nintendo to pursue a powerful console like this, because imagining a new 3D Mario or Zelda game that takes full advantage of the power of the console it's on is enough to give me chills. On the other hand, the games on the Switch are evidence that Nintendo clearly doesn't need super fancy hardware to make good-looking games.
Okay, I might not actually be that good at reading palms. What else is... Does anybody have any tea leaves?
Okay, maybe the SNES was a stupid idea. Let's try just following Nintendo's trend so far. So, the Wii U, right?
What the sh**?
It didn't do too well, and that's all thanks to this thing, the Wii U gamepad. Its main gimmick was this giant-ass screen that could display things outside of the main gameplay on the TV. It's a cool concept, but unfortunately it was not utilized to its fullest potential by most developers. Including Nintendo most of the time. Let's not forget the Wii U, here's the Nintendo Switch! A much simpler idea to understand. It's a portable console that you can hook up to your TV by sliding it into this napkin holder. It's such a cool idea, and the transition from console to portable is so seamless. This actually is selling incredibly well and is being supported by practically every developer under the sun. Many people have described the Nintendo Switch as being the better execution of what the Wii U was trying to do, and while I agree to some extent, I argue there's still one more chapter this story could tell. I call it the Wii U 2.
Why? You don't like the name? But you get it. You get it, right? It's a play on words, funny... Okay, fine. I'll stop a working title on it and we'll come back to the name later. How's that?
Here's the thing. While the Wii U was weird and a poorly executed idea, there is still potential in this concept. There were some games on this console that genuinely used the gamepad in really cool ways. Having a screen outside of what's happening on the TV can be used in such creative ways. For example, Nintendo Land is a really cool multiplayer game that takes advantage of the gamepad's screen to show whoever's holding it information that no one else can see. Or Super Mario Maker. Yeah, I know it got a sequel on the Switch, but it was really designed as a two-screen experience, being able to edit on the gamepad while other people watch you or you focus on playing levels on the TV. However, one problem with the Wii U is that you could only take the gamepad so far from the TV before it stopped working. But you know what doesn't have that problem? The Nintendo Switch.
You see where I'm going with this, right?
What if we combine the ideas of the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch together to create a super console? A tablet that can connect to the TV and either mirror the gameplay or display other useful information, but you can also take it wherever you want. And a big missed opportunity of the Wii U was that it never supported using multiple gamepads for games. So, what if this new console did? Like, friends could bring their gamepads for different multiplayer games and could see information relevant to them. If Nintendo actually conveys this information in the marketing and takes full advantage of the idea in more than like 3 games, then this could actually be an incredibly successful console. I just think the idea of the Wii U needs another try, because the main thing that contributed to its failure was just a general confusion from everyone, developers and players alike. So if the idea was given a second chance in a context where it could actually do well, we could have a real winner of a console on our hands.
Or not. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Are you supposed to eat the tea leaves? Maybe I'll have better luck with a crystal ball.
And then, of course, there's the idea that Nintendo could do something completely different. Something that no one's ever thought of before. Like, could you imagine if Nintendo's next console was just a full-on virtual reality rig with like a full bodysuit and a treadmill and shit? And then they could advertise it like a spiritual successor to the Virtual Boy and call it the Virtual Man?
Wait, what?
Or, okay, do you guys remember Microsoft HoloLens? Okay, imagine that, but it's just an extension of the console. Take a 3D Mario game, for example. Like, imagine if the glasses project part of the level in front of you and you have an unscalable wall with a star at the top. So you have to find a way to get to it. So then what you could do is control Mario in this level that's projected out of the glasses, and then you could have him jump into the TV, and then you have him do a little platforming challenge in the level in the TV, and then you jump back out of the TV and you're at the top of the unscalable wall and you could get the star. Or imagine something like Captain Toad, but instead of just moving the camera around to look at the level, you have to actually get up and look around the level yourself. Or like a Pokemon game that like projects the Pokemon into your room and you can like watch battles and interact with the Pokemon and stuff like that. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Hey Nintendo, I am expecting royalty for these ideas, by the way.
Okay, stay with me here. What if they made a console that was also a mini fridge and it could hold all your snacks and drinks in it while you're Wait, what do you mean Microsoft did that already? Okay, you know what? Fine. What if it was the exact opposite? What if it could keep your food warm, like an air fryer built directly into the What do you mean? What? KFC did that already? What the guys? Alright, give me a sec. Okay, what if they made a console that's designed to exclusively play their entire history of games? Like, it's got a slot for NES games, SNES games, N64 games, all their handheld consoles, and the disc slot plays all Nintendo discs, and it doesn't get any new games, it literally just plays old games.
Okay, you know what? I couldn't find a crystal ball, so I just grabbed the next best thing. That's why my predictions are all over the place. I guess the point of this is that there's no real way of knowing what Nintendo's going to do next. And that's what makes it so fun. It's just fun to theorize about some stuff sometimes. There are no bad ideas, and your ideas can be as minimal or as crazy as you want them to be. And it doesn't matter. It's literally just for fun. And who knows? Maybe Nintendo is working on something like one of these ideas, or maybe a combination of them. A Wii U Switch hybrid that also has augmented reality glasses, a VR set that also only plays old games, or a hybrid of a air fryer and a mini fridge. Or all of the above. Who knows what Nintendo's got cooking up next? It may be an incredible feat of technology, or we may all despise it. The point is, we don't know what's next. I just wanted to give my own thoughts on what I think Nintendo could do next. And hey, you know what? If you've got your own ideas for Nintendo's next console, why don't you give them too? Go find some random person on the street and tell them what you think Nintendo's gonna do for their next console. But whatever it is, I think we can all agree on one thing. It better be able to fucking make pancakes this time!